Time for another episode of Mark's Comic Hall, y'all. And first and foremost, before I get into this, I just want to say thank you to all the people. My video from a week ago, I mentioned that my mother was going to go in and have heart surgery, and a lot of you guys said some really nice things. I really appreciate it, Mr. Rigamortis. A lot of great people said really wonderful things, and so I really appreciate that. She's doing great. She was in surgery for 2 hours. 2 days later, they sent her home. Now she's running around like nothing ever happened. Modern medicine, just amazing. So thank you for your well wishes on that. This is just a quick haul video, nothing terribly fancy, just some local comic shop stuff I picked up, but I managed to pick up a few cool things, so we'll get right into it. For all you Spawn fans, Spawn the Book of Souls, some of you may not know what this is. This was a convention exclusive that they did, and they passed them out at a couple different shows back in the mid-90s. Whenever like Todd McFarlane or Greg Capullo, if they were appearing at a convention, they would just hand these out to the fans. And what this actually is, it's got this really cool Greg Capullo, Danny Meeke cover on it there. What this is it's actually a reprint of Spawn Bible, which was just kind of like a collection of character bios and things like that, sort of like a handbook of the Marvel Universe for the Spawn universe. And although it's an incomplete reprint because it doesn't have all the pages that Spawn Bible had in it, but still it's a cool book to have. I live next to an airport, so if you hear planes going overhead, that's why. There's not a plane crashing into my house, if that's what you're thinking. Marvel's new universe was not a very successful venture for them, but this was one of their titles, Spitfire and the Troubleshooters. This is number 4. The significance of this book is this is very early Todd McFarlane artwork. You can probably find it in the quarter box. It's still just kind of a cool book if you're a Todd McFarlane fan and you like to collect his stuff. It may actually be his first Marvel work, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Sabretooth number 1. This is by no means a rare book. They printed quite a few of these, but it's a cool book nonetheless. It's got this cool die-cut cover. You can see the Mark Texeira artwork peeking through there. Yeah, it's a Sabretooth book. Sabretooth, cool character. If you see him cheap, I'd pick him up, just because you never know. Speaking of Sabretooth, Powerpack was a book that was not really that popular for Marvel. It never really gained a lot of popularity, but it did have some cool crossovers from time to time. Issue number 27, not only does it feature Sabretooth, but you've got Wolverine, X-Factor, and Wolverine and Sabretooth actually fight in this issue, and why I think this is a cool book to have is this is from 1986, if I'm not mistaken. And that's pretty early on in the whole Marvel, Wolverine, Sabretooth, all that stuff starting to grow in popularity. So I think it's a good book to have, and it's cheap. It's, you can find that usually in a bargain box. Betty and Veronica number 1. There were several different covers. This is the Adam Hughes cover. I already had one of these, but I figure it can't hurt to have another one with Adam Hughes stuff just going through the roof. It seems like almost anything he works on. Amazing Spider-Man number 15. This is the Mary Jane Becomes the Iron Spider, Alex Ross cover. This is a first printing. They have second printed this. The way you can tell the second print is the logo actually has a blue background to it instead of a red background. So, and these are starting to go up in value, so I would pick one up now if you can. Beautiful Alex Ross cover there. Wolverine number 155 featuring Deadpool and artwork by Rob Liefeld. So you've got the co-creator of Deadpool working on artwork on Wolverine. And around this time when issue 155 was printed, Wolverine was not a high printed book at the time. It was kind of losing popularity, and so I wouldn't say these are rare, but this is definitely worth picking up if you can find it cheap. I've seen vendors starting to sell these at conventions now for like $20 or more, so it's going up in value. Speaking of Rob Liefeld, Hawk and Dove number 1. I think that's Rob's first DC Comics work, early Rob Liefeld. I would almost go so far as to call this book rare because I've only seen it maybe once before. This is Hawk and Dove Annual number 1 from 1998. It's got a Rob Liefeld cover inked by Carl Kiesel, so it doesn't quite look like traditional Liefeld. But I never see this book. I mean, I can't imagine the print run is very high. So if you see one and it's in good shape and it's a big, thick, annual, I would pick it up. Daredevil number 300, Lee Weeks artwork, Daredevil versus Kingpin. Interesting thing about this book is the black, sort of the matte finish that they did on the cover. This thing is a total fingerprint magnet. If your skin is a little oily and you touch that black, it's going to fingerprint the hell out of it, so watch out for that. Speaking of Lee Week's artwork, this is Wolverine Punisher, issues 1 through 4. Mike Deodato cover on number 1. Gary Frank cover on number 2. Really like that cover. Chris Brenner cover on number 3. And my favorite, Clayton Crane cover on number 4. Clayton Crane's been doing a lot of the Venomized variants, so if this looks like one of your Venomized variants, that's why. I think this is an awesome cover. All 4 of those, quarter a piece. Kind of cool. A classic, Crisis on Infinite Earths number 7, The Death of Supergirl. Probably the most homaged cover of all time, and probably safe to say it's George Perez's best cover ever done. I just love this book. Anytime I can find it, when it's not terribly expensive, I always try to pick it up. New X-Men number 20. This is the Billy Tan variant with a nice blue background. Mark Brooks did the artwork on the inside. X-23. Really cool Laura Kinney cover. Always like that book. Everybody's picking up Infinity Gauntlet in anticipation of the new Avengers movie, and while the story is certainly going to play off Infinity Gauntlet, this is the book I keep telling people, be on the lookout for this, because you can usually find these pretty cheap. This is Infinity War number 1. The reason I think you want to look for this is because the title of the next Avengers movie is the Avengers Infinity War. And, you know how people are. They like things that coincide with the title. That's why Gotham City Sirens is now selling for stupid money when 2-3 years ago nobody cared. Because there's a Gotham City Sirens series coming on, even though it probably doesn't necessarily follow the book. So pick that up if you can find it cheap. Infinity Crusade number 1. This is just another Infinity Gauntlet spinoff. Gold cover. Cable number 25 with the holographic logo. Domino, just a really cool Cable book there. Ian Churchill artwork. All those Cable books are going to start shooting up in value. Captain America number 7, Alex Ross, Sam Wilson as Captain America cover. Winter Soldier replacing Bucky there. Really nice variant. And Captain America Comics number 25. This is the Deadpool parody cover, parody of Captain America Comics number 1. Just a really fun cover there. So that's it. That's all I got. So just a small haul to share with you guys. And Tito from Kingdom Comics has called me out, wanting me to share my 10 favorite modern age comics. So I'll be working on that and posting it this week. But as usual, thanks for doing everything you guys do. Shout outs to Seeking Near Mint, Dr. Bonchilla, Dr. Silver Age, Why Not Art, Mr. Rigor Mortis, QB Comic Addict, Gizmo 17, The Chinnist, Spidey Fan, SPT Killerwood, all you guys. I know I'm leaving people out, but there's just so many that I follow now. You're all doing great work. I'll see you again soon. Tito, I'm working on it. See you guys. Take care.